Welcome back to the Brooklyn Netcast podcast. I'm your host, Caleb. This is my co host, Cash.
What's up, everybody?
And today we have a fun episode, a lot of topics to go over. But I think the perfect starting point for basically any Brooklyn Netcast podcast right now is Jordi Fernandez. He's looking like a coach of the year level guy. I know he won't win. We're simply not winning enough basketball games. But, Cash, what have you seen from him that gives you that top three look for him right now?
I mean, how many coaches, quality coaches, coaches who have been in this coach of the year conversation, has he outcoached this season?
All
I
of them.
mean, or coached at least to a draw. Ime back to back. Uh, he's taken numerous. He's taken numerous high end coaches to the end of the line. Not to mention, I mean, what can you really say about a coach where because of the energy and the culture and the accountability that he has brought to the team, that a guy can jam up a tank that the fan base largely, for some but majority of the fan base many wanted to get the best player available. How can you jam that up and still have the fan base love you and still have the fan base out to get your back, more supported than any coach we've had in a
Oh, by
decade,
far, by
like 20
far.
in 2 decades, 3 decades. Like, is I keep saying I was saying things way too early for people, I feel like, to understand. I
We
said
both
things
were.
like
Yeah.
he was the best coach we've ever hired. He's going to change. We're going to win a championship with this guy. He's going to change our culture. Like, this is the guy. And I can't explain, like, when you've like we've never had the guy, so we don't know what this feels like. But I imagine other fan bases would say the amount of relaxation and the amount of reprieve that it gives you from tension, like that you how about this, that you know the players you're gonna draft are gonna develop.
Oh, absolutely.
You know that now. There is no like I don't feel like we're playing any more Russian roulette with taking picks. I think whoever becomes a Brooklyn net now that we pick will come into Jordi Fernandez's team and be successful. Has any player played
I'm on board with
down?
that outside of like obviously there's outside things, but my big thing isn't even I think they'll be successful. These are guys that I know will be picked because of Jordy's input. So that's where I feel more comfortable as in it's not just the development aspect, but like these are guys that Jordy likes. They fit the mold of player he wants.
Mm.
Because I think he's going to end up getting a lot more sway than people think in this draft process. Head coaches always get sway in the draft process, but I think Jordy, it's going to be molded around him, the
How
guys he
about
wants.
he earned it?
Oh, he did 100%.
He earned it. He didn't. He didn't. He doesn't. Coaches don't get it in in this town, in this league, in this game. All things are earned.
What's his plus? How many more games is he projected to win this season?
We Vegas had us at 19. I begged people to push to 23. I said if we could keep it below 24, 25, I think we got a good chance. 23 was my target.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, we're projected to win 30 games right now. So it's a plus 11. But some really interesting stuff that I think needs to be added is Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson. Probably your two best offensive players.
I've been
Missed a
out for
combined 52 games.
52 games combined. And we're not
Dennis,
talking about like we're also talking about a team that already with those two guys was pretty much devoid of offensive talent. Like really was even with those two guys was really left seeking to meet teams at the NBA offensive level and have been struggling to do so all season. The pension and calling card of this team is the defense. The defense travels, the defense shows up at your house, the defense is trying to reach you by mail, the defense just wants to talk to you about your car insurance. That's where the defense is. The defense is under your blanket, under your bed, in your closet, scary. It is always completely engulfing. It is just I've never seen effort like this on the ball. 80 plus feet, picking up Zaire Williams, getting steal after steal, breakaways, Keon Johnson, guys who were not really pensioned defenders who were just looking good because when you play five athletes, you got to beat five athletic guys defensively. And
Yeah.
for some reason, Sean Marks completely lost the plot when it came to building a championship team, because that's what that team needed more than anything. Was defense, was energy, was a high, uh, high leverage sort of athletic, dynamic players that were able to capitalize on.
I think the funniest little tidbit of that is guess who's played the most minutes for us this season?
I
Out of
was
every
gonna I was gonna give a funny pick and say Schroeder, but um, let's say most minutes.
most minutes.
Let's go with Keon Johnson.
Jalen Wilson. I
I
think
was about
Jalen
to say
Wilson,
Jalen Woodman. Oh,
1,500 minutes this season. He's probably the least athletic player in the NBA. Nothing against Jalen Wilson.
hey,
Just not very athletic.
it's
I
okay
think
to
it's
be an
funny.
under the rim guy. It's all right. You
It's not, yeah, he's, yeah. I just think it's
of
funny
all the
how
things to not
athletic
be in the
team
NBA is
Jalen Wilson is so unathletic. Good player at times.
do you
Maybe not.
associate dunking just with? I think that's a little bit single sided. Dunking and athleticism,
I
like
mean,
because
he's
he can
not
still.
really. He doesn't move. I mean, he gets downhill, but like even his like lateral and horizontal movements
Well,
not
he can
great.
like box out and rebound and ball track in the air, and he
Yeah,
gets
because
tip
he's a wrecking ball. I just
fills
wouldn't
in the
say him.
right.
I'd
Yeah,
say he's
right.
extremely unathletic. He's
Well,
not physically gifted. I
right,
mean,
but in this world, God gives you gifts, and He gives you he gives, and He takes away. And I
yeah.
think that the thing about Jalen Wilson that I like is that he is true to his game, and because he has a humility about his game, like he knows what he can and he can't do. I think it's because of those things that he was able and smart enough to mold his game and work his game all the way into the NBA.
Oh, he's a pro's pro.
He's a
That's the whole thing from
pro.
Kansas. He came from Kansas. Their
Yeah.
pedigree there is you're going to be a professional day in day out. You're going to play your role.
Pedigree is such a profound word.
Really
He
good at it.
showed he showed up, and that's what happened. Is Jordy rewarded the most professional, mature guy, the guy that always gave effort day in and day out, the lunch pail guy. And look what happened. They fell in line.
Mhm.
He had a team of young guys with no real vet, and he turned a sort of rookie into a vet. And they said, "Oh, if this guy's getting minutes, how do I get minutes? Well, do what he's doing."
Yeah, I think
And they
he's a
all
very good precursor for what you need to be to play on this team.
You don't realize who your leaders are until day in, day out. NBA, people think it's, you're making millions of dollars, you're always in the club, you're always with models and shit. No, it's a lunch pail gig. It is a blue collar job. You come in, you work your physical body to the bone, and then to the point where you need treatment, and that's just practice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I totally feel you on this. I think um, the confidence I have in Jordy is the most confidence I think I've ever had in the franchise.
Oh,
I think
without a
that
doubt.
if you
All right.
told me at the beginning of this season that the Nets tank was in full jeopardy of us making the playing game, but I before you even finished that sentence, I would have lost my mind. But there was this guy has, I mean, he somehow made it not seem as awful. It's almost like uh almost the perfect counterbalance.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but he's
Um,
fantastic. I mean, and you know what? Now he's 100% committed to us
oh,
because of
no
his
question.
he stepped down
We've
from the
committed to
team
him
candidate
too.
job
I think that's fair
and
to
committed
say.
to.
Is the fan base has committed to Jordy. A lot of us were obviously pro tank, but now it's kind of like there's not much you can do. Like you got to root for Jordy. He's very good, very likable. Um, the best coach we've had in the history of the franchise,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
does that
hard not
mean,
to get behind him.
listen, this is all things that we were both saying before the season, and then were proven to be true 15 games into the season. So Sean Marks still could have done what he had to
5 games into the
5 games
season.
into the season. Okay, so
Five.
I was trying to be generous, but to the other side. But yeah, no, 5 games into the season, it was pretty evident. So at this, I mean, we don't, it's not his fault that he's good at his job. It's
Yeah.
not. It's just like man showed up to work and productivity was high. like, say what you will. Like Sean, this is Sean's cross to bear again.
Yeah, that was a job saving move. I think that's fair to say. This
Oh,
move saved his job. No
and
question. It bought at least
and
bought him time.
oh oh, in boxing, it's called a clinch.
Yeah.
It was a clinch, and then he pushed away and he got breathing room. He was on the ropes. He was fit. The lights were blurry. All of a sudden he saw an opening to get a good counter in with the McHale, but the guy was just flailing because the Knicks were just flailing in the dark trying to land a punch, and he just got lucky. The McHale thing with at simultaneous with KD to get our picks back. I mean, even now, like
Three
I mean,
angels came from the sky. One
yeah.
had Kevin Durant's face, one had Leon Rose's face, and one had Jordi Fernandez's face. He's like, where did these all come from? There's three of them.
We need first off, we need the meme of like Sean Marks and he's like Captain America, and you just hear on your left, and you just see Jordi Fernandez fly through a portal against
Oh, I
Thanos.
will do this after the podcast.
Just
No
fly.
question. I'll send it to you too.
Yeah, no, this is yeah, you can't say that Sean the thing he most had to get right was this because it was the thing he had never gotten right because
Yeah.
he inherited Kenny. Okay, him and
Well,
Kenny were never friendly, were never like that.
there you go.
Okay, there was never any commitment. It was always going to be Sean, no matter what. I tell this to everybody, no matter what stars showed up. Katie, Kyrie, Harden, Joel, Jan, no matter who showed up, the coach was gonna be Steve. It was gonna be Nash. It wasn't just Katie and Kyrie's relationship and Sean's relationship. Sean and Nash had been speaking about that for years, plural. So we don't have to dispute that anymore. I think the place that we're in right now is so good that we can just look back now at all the torture we've suffered and bad coaching and just absolute incompetence. I mean, you want to talk about watching some of the worst coaching in your life? That Jock Vaughn stretch versus the Miami Heat home at home back to back that year was maybe the two worst games I've ever seen an NBA
Yeah, I don't
coach
even want to talk
in
about
my life
those.
in my life. So going from that to where I'm at right now, which I believe we have a top five coach and he's not five.
Or four. Three.
So so meet me where I'm at. Meet me where I'm at. No matter
Yeah.
who we take, this he is coming into the house of Jordy. Let me ask you one last question, and then we can move on from Jordy. We'll put the final period, okay, in permanent ink. Has anyone on this team played below their level at all under Jordi Fernandez from what they are used to playing either elsewhere, what they've played here? Has anyone not improved at all?
I lean Claxton, but I think it's just
Just
he
had the
was
best game
injured
of
to
his
start the
life.
season. And yeah, I mean, like
Injured.
Claxton earlier on in the season and Sharpe when they were hurt. Like that's the only answer I'd be able to give you, and that's not even like
Cool.
it
I
doesn't
can
mean it's
live. I
Jordy.
can
It's
live with
just oh
that.
we were hurt. Yeah, so I mean that's the closest thing to it. And Claxton's been outstanding. Sharpe, the numbers I'm going to bring up in about 2 minutes are out of this world.
Jalen Wilson, Cam Johnson, Keon Johnson, Zaire Williams,
Dennis Schroeder, Killian
Noah Clowney,
Hayes.
Dennis Schroeder, Killian Hayes, Tyrese Martin. Ben Simmons is playing basketball for another team.
I'd say maybe Doe's the only guy that didn't elevate his play, but he's just always played this style that Jordy likes. So it's more Doe's always been that kind of pro, and you just have to respect it. I just say Doe kind of stayed the same.
He
He's
was
always
hurt
been like
too.
this, and he was injured as well.
He was hurt too. And also, how about when we were playing him? Remember, we were playing him at small ball 5 because Claxton was hurt
That was
and
me.
Daron was hurt at the same time.
Yeah.
Remember, we were playing with one center,
Well, it was Ben too.
and it
That
was
was
Ben.
disgusting.
It was Ben. We were relying on Zaire Williams and Ben Simmons center minutes. That's
It was
ridiculous.
disgusting. Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking
man.
of centers, though,
Yeah. Tyrese
this
Martin,
is
by the way. Tyrese Martin, serviceable NBA player. Probably, if not playing for us next season, will be playing
play
somewhere
somewhere.
else.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So have we established that Jordy is him?
Yes, we have. This next debate is interesting. It came out basically because of yesterday, but I dug a little bit deeper, and there's a lot more to think about now. Dayron Sharpe versus Nick Claxton. What are your overall thoughts to start, and then we'll kind of dig deeper into the weeds.
You know me, I'm more of like a harmony guy than like a let's compare and like let's tear these two dudes down sort of guy.
So lift them
Um,
both up. Who can we lift
I,
higher?
first off, could any two guys be so different? Could any two guys really be that much more different for one? And then how about this? Could any two guys who are who are this way, who are so different, but also both power forwards playing center?
Yes.
They're both power forwards who are playing center. They're just different. They're like we're playing platooning two power forwards at center. We don't have a center.
Yeah.
Daron Sharp is 6'8".
6'9". We're gonna give him the 6'9" at least.
In
He's
the
got to
big
be.
in the all
Gotta
right
be.
that might have been that's a big pair of Jordans he's playing in.
Sure.
Is he playing in Timberlands? Is he playing? He might the way he
I
plays.
bet we. I bet. Yeah, Dayron probably does play in Tim's
But Daron
practice.
Sharp plays in Timbos is a meme we need to start. But that's the facts. Are they are two different, completely, ironically, two completely different players, um, who play the same position just completely differently and are platooning at out of position. Um, I mean,
But
this
neither can
is
play. Let's clarify. Neither can play true power 4 minutes either.
unless you put them next to a center that's viable. Right?
Center. Yeah, it's
It's more
slippery.
about finding the
Most of the
guard
class.
and the center to make them both viable than really what they need to do for themselves. If Dayron's able to step outside like he did the other night, then why doesn't that make him viable with Clax? And therefore, why doesn't that make him not viable to taking, I don't know, Cayman Malawak?
My thing
Or
with Sharp is I would almost consider putting another true power forward with him if that was the route you go.
uh I would say I would if I'm a team, let's say the New York Knicks, and
Oh, wonderful way to
I
start
look
this.
across the aisle and I see Daron Sharp, Derek Queen, let's say, Or how about this? How about even a later pick? How about a guy that maybe we sneak in later, maybe like a Fleming or a Sorber, any one of those guys, those the Nets take and combine with a back line of Dayron and Clax, like a platoon sort of thing like if you're constantly rotating in two elite bigs, I mean, really just serviceable NBA players. I mean, you're going to win basketball games and you're going to play good defense, especially with Jordi as the coach, because you're going to be able to identify multiple different defenses and play different styles. I
Agreed.
compare it to what the Orlando Magic and the Cavaliers are doing. They
Shout out
have
Goga
a
Batadze,
Shout
by the
out
way.
Boga Batadze. Shout out Wendell Carter Jr. Shout out. How about Jonathan Isaac and Paolo Banchero, even Mo Wagner? Look at their backlog of bigs. They're always protecting the rim and they're always scoring at the basket. They might have too many and some guard trouble. They're not shooting the ball well, but that's their own issue. Cleveland, which we'll talk about right now, was the last good back line that beat this Nets back line.
And not by a lot either, I mean,
Not by a lot. I mean, it took two All Stars to put Dayron and Clax in their place, regardless of if they played together or not. You're already rotating in two very difficult, very problematic guys that jam the game up in their own special way. So it doesn't matter to me if you can't get them on the court together at the same time. I don't care. At this point, the diversity that they both offer me, to me, I think makes them more valuable to keep. And
here's
then
my
maybe,
question.
or yeah, go ahead.
So we talked about per 36 sharp the last 15 games. I like to
Oh,
use a precursor of the last 15 games for both guys because this is around when they started getting healthy and moving like they used to. Um, Sharp's numbers are disgusting. 20.6 points per game, 14 rebounds. On top of those 14, he has almost seven offensive rebounds,
oh my God.
63, 67, 82 shooting splits. Now, the only bad number here is the almost five personal fouls per 36.
Dude, those numbers I could give a shit.
Yeah, we
Oh
talked about
my
this a little
God.
bit. A important thing with the personal foul numbers for Sharp, if you do watch the games, there's a difference between becoming in foul trouble
Mm-hmm.
and using your fouls strategically. A lot
Yes.
of Sharp's fouls are used strategically because there is no need for him to stay on the court that long. Let's be frank
Stop.
about it. It's him and Clax. They're both there. Sharp, you know you're playing for like 18 minutes, 20 minutes at most.
He gets a
Use your
lot of
fouls,
fouls.
play
Gets a
physical.
lot of fouls where the guy he gets a guy across the arms as he's going up for a layup. Can't hit the layup. He's got to go shoot two free throws. This
He
isn't
needs them.
something that we should be. This is something we should be statistically taking into account. Is how many of your fouls result in made free throws? Because a good and a bad foul is really the context here. And I know that we've given Sharp trouble before for using his hands and being a kung fu fighter, but when we looked up his foul trouble minutes, which we presented, thought of an idea of what is foul trouble and when was he in it, and let's give some context to when and where these fouls are coming from. So what did we find, Caleb?
He's been in foul trouble three times this year, essentially. 222, so very recently, versus Philly. The first versus Houston, he was actually in foul trouble. The other game versus Houston, which I believe was the fourth, were more strategical fouls than anything. Did not impact his amount of play. And then 12 of 19 versus Toronto. And I like to mention that we did win all three games. So
Yeah.
even with that.
So when we say foul trouble, we mean three fouls in two quarters, four fouls in three, or five
4 to 5.
fouls total. or more. Anything 5 or more, we
I
count it.
also did a precursor of if it was a take foul in crunch time and it got you to 5, I did not count that as foul trouble, as you were just
So what are we talking about? I mean, is he or is he not disproving it?
yeah, the numbers look bad when I was looking at him. Even like last week, I said like he's got to stop fouling as much, and then and he does still need to foul less. Let's be clear. But when you really
We
dive
all
into the
do,
weeds, it's
but
not that bad. It really
but
isn't.
we know that Jordy is incentivizing physicality. He's saying be physical, don't foul. But he's gonna live with physicality and fouls if it means setting the tone. Because he knows, just like that Milwaukee Bucks team knew, that a referee can't call everything. They can't call everything. And the first team to the floor gets the ball. So the first team being physical, the first team asserting their dominance, the first team boxing out physically, the first team setting the good screen and rolling at the rim with bad intentions. That's the team that's going to grab the momentum of the game first and usually wins the game.
Yeah.
So fouls or no fouls, I don't care. I'm saying play physical. He could go like this at this rate for me for the rest of his career. I don't care if he's giving us numbers like this. But I'm sorry, the whole kung fu fighting Dayron Sharp. I think we got to retire that. We have to.
Yeah.
They just don't. The numbers don't support it.
Also, there's a interesting number that I found. His fouls per 36 overall are down like 1.5 this year from 2022-23.
So you're
So
saying
it's
from last year to this
no
year,
from
he's
2022-23.
so from 2022 to 2020 to now, he is averaging one full less foul.
1.5
One and a
almost
half.
over a per 36 sample. So my thing is 1.5 less per 36 in essentially 2 years, and he's continued to improve upon it. And like I said, there's more strategic fouling than ever. I really don't think it's as bad as I thought originally. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people think. Now, I also want to say there is still obviously room for improvement, and he does have to improve some of that stuff with the hands. But and a lot of his fouls as well, I found um, over 10 this year were moving screens where the ball handler did not allow him to get set. So a lot of his fouls also come with bad
Over
guard play.
overactivity from the guard.
Bad guard play. We'll just
Yeah,
say it how it is.
regardless.
It's bad guard play.
Yeah.
So I think even when you bring in better guard talent, the fouls will go down. And I think when the Nets get more real help side rim protection, the fouls will also continue to go down even more.
Man,
Because let's be
if we could get
honest,
a guard, man, a guard that could get any of the primary defender on the hip after the pick and roll, where you could just do the Chris Paul sort of crab dribble, you get them on their backside, and you really force that 2-on-1 with Dayron in the center or Claxton in the center. Man, that's just gonna bring back that's gonna do so many good things for us.
I've heard of stock numbers.
Oh
So
yeah,
this is an interesting precursor. Over the last 15 games, that any guys played in the league this year, first in stocks is Wemby, and he has like 5.
yeah.
It might even be 6. It was a crazy number. He's way ahead of everybody else. Second was Clinging over his last 15, and that was four and a
Mm,
half. Third is Dayron Sharp with 4.3, and right next to him is Dyson Daniels, but he's third in stocks for 36 over the last 15. He defensively, he's super active. And the more and more I've really gotten into I got really into the draft the last 2 years, and I consider myself more analytically driven. Um, Stocks, good. Like I always used to say, like steals and blocks don't make you a defender, and they don't. But if you're creating positive opportunities, especially for a
right,
team that struggles on offense as much as they do with the in like the half court, getting this team in transition more with blocks and steals, it's
right,
super valuable. It's easier points for this team. They really need it. They've been playing so well because they played so fast and haven't had to get into half court sets as often. So I think Sharpe's been awesome, but I also don't want to downplay Claxton's play as well because his numbers aren't bad either. 14 and a half points per game, 9.5 rebounds, 4.1 stocks. So between the two of them, they're damn near at nine
Can I say
stocks per game per
can I say something
36
about
combined.
Clax too with the roster? The Zaire Williams and Jalen Wilson and Keon Johnson, Tosan Ivo Bowman, uh just all clown, just all that length, okay? The disruptive length has helped Claxton because so many times we put Claxton out on the perimeter and the two other guys next to him that are guarding the wings are Patty Mills and Kyrie Irving, or Seth Curry and Joe Harris. And you know what I mean? Like, we don't, we never, if you have a guy that has length, you want to put length alongside him to you want to have a theme, you want to be thematic, you want to be able to, really seal those passing lanes. And you could tell that the additional length has made Claxton a more viable switch defender. I think he's been even better around the perimeter this year than in years prior. And I
Oh, I
think that
agree.
and I think that
Outside of
Jordy
22,
is
23, I think was his best year.
outside of 20, but here's the thing is he's able now to get away from the basket and doesn't have to always have in the back of his mind, oh, I have to retreat and also rebound from this from this contest that I'm putting up from three because I have someone behind. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he had to trust like Kevin Durant, who's not the best rebounder at his age. He had to trust
still very
uh
solid, but yes, I
very
agree.
solid. But now, I mean, the energy and the effort and the physicality and the combativeness for the ball is much better, so he doesn't have to worry about that stuff. So he now can sort of now we can sort of see, especially if we get a good guard, we can see that sort of breakout ability of Claxton when he switches on the perimeter, because then he can break out. And that's that we could take in the draft when Claxton breaks out, like if he could truly defend the perimeter and keep guys like Luca and SGA and Cade and Donovan Mitchell and all these. I mean, you 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 might not want to give away that skill so quickly. And I know
That's fair. Yeah,
I've also been a huge proponent of Nick Claxton plus Cam Johnson equals $49 million. I've said that before too. But hey, all options are available on the road to
absolutely.
building a contender. So,
Here's how I look at it. Real quick before we move on
but
is
that's why we feel so comfortable because you know
yeah,
of what of how we feel about Jordy and the development of the staff here.
yeah. I mean, Claxton doesn't have to be moved too. Um, I will say if you want to like totally unleash Dayron Sharpe, he would have to be. And if you really believe in Dayron that much, that would be the case. That's an interesting part. But I guess if you really do, if there's not an offer for Claxton that makes it worth it, you just don't do it too. Like there has to be an offer for Claxton that's like, wow, what an offer. Sure, we'll move off Claxton. But it's not like, hey, yeah, we're just gonna move off you, Clax. You had a really good end of
Yeah,
year.
to do it just to
Forget
do it
about
is
it.
not smart.
Yeah.
I would not. That's not no.
If you want to unleash Dayron Sharpe and there's like an offer that's like, wow, that is huge for us. That's a great offer. This his value's at his peak clearly. I consider it. I have some worries about the back problems and some of the health issues long term. It's a little bit scary. So if there's a really good offer, I would consider it. Also, the possibility of just unleashing Dayron and becoming like this bullying, bruising team.
I would really like for Nick Claxton to come into one season healthy.
That would be nice. That's why I have some worry. That's why like moving Claxton if he has like really good value this offseason is
And
like in the cards.
the problem is too with Claxton is he has um it's not to I don't want to say excuses, but he has so many reasons to not be exactly to blame for the hiccups and issues with his own development because, I mean, as soon as he got here, he was supposed to be on a developmental track, and then he turns into, the guy who's going to be playing major minutes alongside Katie and Kyrie and Harden.
I think you're gonna call
And
Sam Darnold.
under, yeah, and then he becomes, now he's being coached by Steve Nash and then Jacques Vaughn. Like, he hasn't really had any competency or good handling. And now that he does, do we really want to give up on him? Or do we want to, like, we put in all the time into him already? Why would you give up on him now, especially after we just gave him that contract? Like, who knows? In 3 years, when the salary cap is where it is, and he's getting paid what he's getting paid, we might be glad he's on the roster because that's a difference of about 30 million plus more dollars just in TV revenue money that we'll be able to spend between then and now.
Yeah.
So his
Also, the
contract,
salary floor is something as well that I've kind of
yeah, exactly. So I mean,
exactly.
I'm not a Dayron versus Claxton guy. I'm now a Dayron with Claxton sort of guy.
I am a do what's the best for the team
Yeah,
guy.
unless you blow me away with that trade. What you were saying earlier was 100% how I'm living and dying. Is if you're offering me a trade and it's limited picks and it's more around Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton's money, then yeah, I'm open to listening to that.
Yeah. Well, let's really talk about right before we go into a mock draft why we do feel so comfortable. And it's not, I love Jordy. I don't want to take anything away from Jordy, but other
This is why
people
I think we're
deserve
going to
credit.
get that off. We could potentially get that offer is because every single player, like we said earlier in this pod, has played above their level this
Yeah.
season. And because of that, I don't, at this point, I do. I mean, I would love to get the best possible guys. Don't get me, that's true. We all would love that. But at this point, whoever we're getting he's going to turn them into an animal. He's going to turn them into
I
an
think a good
absolute
starting
animal.
point with this too, because we just talked about the bigs, is Ryan Forehand Kelly. If we're talking about development of the bigs.
And Jawan Howard.
Oh yes, and Javon Howard. Yeah.
And Jawan, I mean, we're talking about two guys who are definitely well respected in this realm. I mean, away from the game, I mean, Forehand Kelly's been connected to numerous really good big camps. I just the way the team has been developing now, especially on the finishing end of it with Jordy and being able to instill confidence in the guys that didn't have that were struggling with confidence in their game. Zaire Williams, lots of those guys did not get here, unscathed by the league. Trendon Watford, who looks like one of our best players the last 3 games. I mean, every time Trendon Watford comes into the game, we spank teams.
Except last night, he was a little rough, but that was just
Okay,
because
it's because the best team in
he's
the
getting
league
blitzed.
decided they had to get serious to beat us
But yeah, they just
because they
started.
just
They were like just tripling him. It was hilarious. It was like Trent
we
Watford's being
because
tripled at
we
half
act
court.
because we actually embarrass them. We actually embarrass them. 76 points in a half is the most they've led up to any team. Do you know what that locker room must have been like? We're about to lose to the Nuts. Like, are you serious? We are in teams like that. We are in team heads. We are, and I don't even have to lie. I'm not lying or exaggerating because this has been the last month and a half of basketball,
Yeah, it has been
and no
every
numbers
team.
you can give me can persuade me otherwise. The numbers all in our favor. The team is different. The culture's changed, fellas.
Yeah, and what it's not just because of Jordy. I know you want to talk about the other coaches. Is there anybody you want to spotlight specifically, or you just want to?
Dude, Steve Hetzel, just experience around the league, experience guy. You don't gotta be super genius. You just have to be diverse. Look at how diverse the background is. Steve Hetzel, 4 years with the Magic, 3 years with Hog, Dewan Howard, Davidas, Dykes from Latvia, played all over Lithuania, Latvia, Slovenia. I mean, Connor Griffin, Travis Bader. I mean, it's diverse. It is a diverse group of foreign players and Spanish players and European players, and it's allows guys to um find someone they connect to as players anywhere they look. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I get a little bit of this guy, a little bit like, and it makes it easy for Jordy, I think, because then he doesn't have to just be one note.
Oh,
He
without a
could
doubt.
be a more thoughtful, diverse voice. Like when I talk, everybody listens. You know,
A,
and
a big guy for that too, I think, is Juwan Howard. When
yeah,
he talks and I'm not gonna sing a lot. Everybody I imagine is like that, but
Juwan
Juwan
is a
Howard,
brilliant guy to bring
he's
in,
a
and
leader of men. He always has been, and
leader
I
of
think that's
men,
a big
but
part.
a guy who knows also how to create culture. He's part of the Fab Five, dude.
Yeah.
If anybody knows about creating culture, creating what makes a team feel unique and jive together and want to spend time, like that whole being able to be physical and disliked, and oh yeah, when we play them, they play us tough, they always play, they get a reputation, to play with a reputation, to play up to your reputation. He gets all that, and he can feed into that, because that's exactly what Jordy is looking for from his coaching staff, is to help the guys buy in. How do you get this guy to buy? Like, everybody buys in, and you get everybody rowing the boat in the same direction. And this is what the team is doing. This team was never a 19-win team. Ever.
Never.
Not
Which
with this guy at the helm.
I always had
Not with
19
this
as a little
coaching
bit
staff.
low, but I thought it would probably be around 24. They've been exceptional. Just
And the
nothing really to
connection
say.
to, like, the divert, like we're talking Griffin, the video was a video coordinator with Malone in Denver. Jay Hernandez was with the Hornets. Brian, I mean, it's just you and then you get a guy like Foreign Kelly, who's been here 9, like, very diverse, very different, very just a well-built roster. And then I'm wondering if the Nets have played so well that their roster may get poached.
No, definitely. I mean, do you mean player roster or coaching roster or both? Because I'm thinking a little bit of both.
Maybe a little bit of both. Not every guy we have is a restricted free agent, and we're going to be focusing on those two first.
And we drafted them, so there's the semantics of that as well.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, it's the credit to this coaching staff. The culture is here. Now it's about sustaining it into next season, over the off season, keeping the energy through the draft. And speaking of draft, we got
Yeah.
something
All
special.
right. We're doing all teams to make it as realistic as
All teams.
possible. And I'm going to right now create and view lottery simulation. So let's see where we do it. We're probably gonna end up like 11th because I'm doing it. So let's just see what we get. Ah, we'll stick at 7th. Okay.
Okay, I got my phone. So, all right, I'm watching.
Alrighty. Let's do it. We're picking every team. We'll do the no ceilings board. The board doesn't matter because we're picking everybody. But love new ceilings. They do wonderful things.
Did you
So
turn off the precursor? where like
Wait,
you
what?
select a guy, it pops up like a, hey, you sure you want to pick? You could turn that off if you wanted
It
to.
shouldn't be on. It should just be
Oh,
track.
okay, cool.
I probably didn't turn it off though, so it's okay.
We're good.
First overall, Raptors. Do we have to really talk about it? It just seems pretty easy. I'm just gonna take
Yeah.
Cooper flag.
Congratulations to the Raptors. They get Cooper flag, the Canadian flag, the big leaf. Congratulations to them.
The best American-born prospect since Zion goes to Canada. I mean, that is fitting, isn't it? It would happen. It would happen.
Yo, I almost want to spin it again. We should spin it again just for that.
I
That
have to.
was funny. That was so good. That was
Yeah, that's gonna happen to
Spin it
me.
again. No,
Pissed.
keep it in. Spin it again. Spin it again.
I can't do it.
I can't do
Name
it.
in Canada.
Oh, I'm crying.
Okay.
Oh, it's so fun. That was so
I
fucking.
mean,
That was.
listen,
That's the
I've seen the
funniest thing I've
tweets.
ever
I've
heard.
seen the tweets too about like the. I know Raptors fans are sweating right now because that Ace Bailey, R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, 42% from mid-range group. It's coming. I mean, you guys aren't getting Cooper flag.
Oh,
You're getting the mid-range guys. You guys are gonna be stuck in mediocrity. It's gonna be hilarious.
oh, that was so
Ace
good.
Bailey, R.J. Barrett, Grady.
Oh, restart it. Restart
No,
it.
I'm not doing it.
Res-
I can't do it.
oh, God.
It's organic. We got stuck at 7th.
Oh,
We go with
all
it.
right. All right. All right. Let's
Number
try
2
that.
pick, Washington. I mean, God, they just Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
They need a point guard. Not that he's really even a point guard. The Harper like
Is there a, is
true
there
point
a,
guard stuff
oh,
is interesting.
listen, I mean, obviously nobody is gonna, you know, hesitate from wanting to pair Harper with a guy like, Bub Carrington or Bilal Coulibaly. I'm not saying that that's the wrong thing to do, but is there a sentiment here for the Washington who's in for the long haul, right? The big rebuild. They just took Sar, who's a youngin. Why not take Ace Bailey here? I think Ace Bailey fits a little more for Washington.
My only thing is the ball handling on that team's really bad. And Ace is a bad ball
And they
handler.
and they want to be bad again next year.
I agree that they want to be bad, but I think it's important for everybody's development that you get a ball handler into the room. I think it helps Bilal's development. Bub,
Then go find it.
Sean.
Then go find it for for like a Diet Coke on the market. You don't got to take a guard that's gonna hit the ground running and jam up future tank
If you want to do it,
because
yeah, that's fine.
I think
I
that
would.
I don't know. I'm only saying the reason why we're doing this, ostensibly speaking, is because the reason why we're doing this is because just picking, oh, I like this guy next, then that guy next. That's a ranking. That's not a draft.
Fine.
This
That's
is
fair.
an
Yep.
actual draft. This is us considering the actual circumstances of the team they've been mocked to.
Final
The
take here.
final take here. I'm gonna say Ace Bailey because he fits a long term window for Washington that I think they're there to perpetuate, and that there are more guards that they could salivate over in the future for them.
Fair enough. Ace
Besides
Bailey
Harper.
it is. With Koulibaly and Sar, that's a fun front court.
Oh, that's amazing. And then get all the jump shots. Then he gets all the jimmies he can eat. All the
It'll be fun.
jimmies.
Third is Charlotte. I almost want to go VJ here because they really just need a ball stopper. And long term, I do think he is a perfect fit next to LaMelo. I know they're in talent acquisition mode as well, but Dylan with LaMelo, it is important. LaMelo is a key cog in this, and they do have to work together. I almost think like VJ works better with Brandon Miller and LaMelo.
I guess the hesitation I have is how committed is Charlotte to
Go to
LaMelo,
LaMelo.
and
Yeah.
LaMelo just and likewise. And I got uh questions about that, and I don't that's this is sort of where maybe a Dylan Harper pick makes sense, and then they move Mello
I just can't see them just from a money standpoint.
from a money standpoint. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I yield. You yielded to me. I yield to you. I'm good. If VJ absolutely fits with Lamelo, he's a backdoor lob threat
And he's
from
very good. Let's be very clear
everywhere
too.
defensively. Is probably the best defensive guard in the draft.
One of the better catch and shoot guys recently. He's been shooting over 43% from on catch and shoots. The defense is
And
legit. The
he's a
driving and cutting's legit.
and a little bit of maybe mentality speak. He's a dog, and his dog might awaken Lamelo's dog.
And I also say
But
VJ is a professional. Like they said, it all in the Bahamas. I think they need professionals. Not that Dylan's not, because he very much so is. But I think that's another thing. Is like VJ is, he's coming in. He's young, but he is a professional and he acts like it and he carries himself a certain way.
right,
Not that
right,
Dylan doesn't, but I'm saying VJ also does, which
right.
why
And this is
works.
again not what we believe the draft will look like. This is
Yeah,
the
this is my
draft
big
we
one.
mocked, and then subsequently, because I vehemently believe, and if Caleb shares this sentiment, he can speak for himself. But I vehemently believe that this draft is so heavily based on positioning and fit. And the
Yeah,
more and more I study the draft, and the more and more I mock, the more and more I think the biggest mitigating factor is, well, where do you land?
yeah,
Where are you realistically what is the three guys here that you like that may be around realistically? And just based on this mock, yeah, sure, maybe Toronto was an outlier to win overall.
it actually just reminds me of the Brandon Miller scoop thing.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly. This
mean,
is no insult or anything to Dylan Harper. He is very worthy of the second overall pick. He's
he's
very
obviously
worthy
the
of the
best player.
first overall pick. If you
Yeah,
if this were any other draft besides having Cooper Flag in it.
or Wemby.
So from my perspective, it's just this we wanted to give listeners a little bit more of context based around the NBA and the teams that we're talking about to show that we know more than just our Brooklyn Nets. We wanted to show you the ocean and landscape of knowledge that we try to possess and want to convey, but also want to examine and show and display through this mock draft.
Yeah,
And it's much better than just going back and forth and saying, "Oh, I like him next. I like him next."
yeah,
Give him a spot. Let's roll the dice. And where do these teams realistically want to go if given this positioning? And we're coming to the end of the season now, so these positionings are largely going to be pretty much locked in. I mean, I don't see
yeah.
any big 10, 15 game losing streaks coming along for any of these teams. Do you? Aside from the bottoms?
No,
Yeah.
not at
So
all. This pick's hilarious. The Utah Jazz,
I
because
love this pick. I love this pick. I love this pick. I love this pick. I love this
you
pick. And
you know that Harper's family doesn't want him to go to Utah.
at all.
He tweeted
But
it, man.
but is it enough for them to actually bite?
I don't know. Like I think this would be a pick you trade out of. I would trade. I think that I honestly think we're not doing trades because it just gets too all over the place.
Yeah, I think you take Asparis before you take a trade here. I
This
think
is so funny.
if they don't if they don't like if Harper doesn't, first off, I think they take Harper before they take anybody, obviously.
It's so
Um,
funny though. It
but
is.
it is hilarious that they fall here. I'm gonna say Harper realistically, just because
He's that
he is the
good
best player available. Danny
by a
Ainge,
mile.
yeah, that's Danny Ainge is not not like a mile. I'm gonna say like a half a mile. I still like Kasparis. I still think Kasparis is the more natural shooter.
Yeah.
Um, but
Danny
that's
Ainge put the balls on the table. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. He's going. He's saying, all right, yeah, all right. We know you hate it, Ron. Here's the ski pass to to, to Zion National Park, and here's some, here's like a huge house on like a beautiful, lake. They'll give him some, they'll make it worth their while.
Yeah. Pick number 5, Pelicans. I think Kasparis is a natural fit
Need it,
here.
need it,
They
need it.
need more
They've
ball
needed it for
handling,
so
guard
long.
play. It's easy. This is an
That's
easy one. You got
this
an
is easy.
aging CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray off is an Achilles or an ACL? I thought it was Achilles. Nonetheless, serious leg
Off the top of
injury.
my head, I do not remember. I'm sorry, but we can look it up and we'll find it.
Yeah.
But now this is easy.
Ooh.
This is too easy. They've been looking for this guy for a long time, and here he is. And he's going to be creative. And it's going to be
Wait,
tough. The
what are you
toughest part,
thinking?
I mean, Kasparis. I mean, the toughest thing here is watching him
Oh,
run pick and roll and lobs to Zion, and know that maybe Zion actually might be kept or there to stay.
I think he will
Um,
be
yeah,
for now.
yeah, we'll see. But who's
Pick
next?
6.
Oh, Philly. Oh man. Oh, this team is a mess. Oh God, this team is a
I
mess.
almost would think Asa Newell makes a lot of sense here, but it's such a fit oriented pick.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go, Aston. You know what? Let's just move along because
You
it's
just
too
want to do
much.
Asa?
The team is too much. It's too much. I
Team's a
mean,
pain in the ass. I'm with you.
it's
Let's just do
Daryl Morey. I
Asa.
mean, you got Daryl Morey. You got all this talk about Bob Myers now. You got Trey. I mean, you got Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey there. You got all of Embiid stuff. You just paid Paul George. You're gonna try to get off of him. God, that's enough. We don't need to go into them anymore. They're a headache.
Oh, look who it is.
Hey, oh hey, Mark.
Welcome to the party. All right.
Oh, and I knew
Damn
this was
it.
gonna be what happened. Can you scroll down?
Yeah,
Um,
I already, there's a lot going on with this one. I see
ugh,
4 guys that I'm intrigued by.
um.
I'm
All
not
right.
gonna
Well,
go any
sell
further.
sell sell me on a guy.
Con
Sell.
Knuckle. No.
Okay.
Who you want me to sell you on? Because I
Uh,
have
I
Ray
mean,
just dropped 40 points last night. The dude can score. The rebounding is questionable. The defense, the motor's there, so I think the defense will be okay. There's some physical tools. He's very wiry.
can I see him at the I would like to see him at the combine measure a true 6'6".
I don't think he
That
is.
that's what I want to see. Is if he's a true 6'6", then all right,
I'd say
we
he's more
can.
like 6'5".
I just this is not
Gets
not
buckets. I'll say that.
it's buckets, but I
But what
mean
else? Yes, that's my issue with him. Queen,
we might have Trey Johnson at the house.
we have Derek Queen at the house too.
Do we?
Yeah, at
Oh,
home we do have Derek Queen at home. He's not as good, but yeah, like I said, Derek Queen at home. It's day day.
this is really hard. This is a really
Um,
hard pick.
Maluak, Jeremiah Fears. The conference play hasn't been great, but it's been better.
I mean, I could give you a lot of reasons to take Malawak here.
I can give you a lot of reasons to take Cal Murphy Broyles here too. Cal Murphy
Over
Broyles.
Queen?
Yes,
Um, okay, yeah, no, all right. I mean,
no, but like I have Fears here too. Like so, this is like who do you think's the best player? Straight up, who do you think's the best player? That's the question. Is it Trey Johnson? I don't know. Is it Jeremiah Fears? Maybe. Is it Boyles? Probably the best right now. Queen, he's probably the best offensive hub of all the guys listed.
I
If you
think
have,
if you're a team that struggles with offense and scoring, you get what you deserve for maybe not taking the best score available.
but I
And
feel like
I get that we have Cam Thomas at we got him at we got the Trey Johnson at the house, but
what do you think about Jeremiah Fears? Because I think the conversation right now is between Fears and Trey Johnson.
I like him. I just think he's a little out of nowhere for me. He
You worry about
wasn't
the
really
freshman,
on
the
a
conference play. He's a freshman. He's
yeah,
very
conference
young.
play. He's very young. I
I
know his
almost say
body
that's a plus. I think like
his
the stocks are legitimate. The on-ball pressure will be there. I do worry about the wiry frame. Trey Johnson, I have similar concerns about, but I also think they both have really good motor. Trey Johnson has a much more surefire scoring ability.
right.
I think anybody here, there's certain questions about how good they are. Um, I'm gonna let you make the pick. How does that sound? I'll let you make
Ugh,
the pick. I'll take my hands off.
this makes me sick.
Well, see, I
Mm.
feel very uncomfortable making this pick, so why don't I just move it to
Yeah,
you?
that's a good
Because
move.
I don't really know. Like I do like Malalock still, but I think I like Boyles more. And but then like, is Boyles the right move here, or is it Queen? It starts to become. It's I know we're in a BPA situation, but it's also a Jordy situation, and who
Yeah, Queen
Jordy
also
wants.
has the age factor where he's like a 20-year-old freshman.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's the thing. Fears has the other age factor. He's the youngest of everybody here, I believe, because he reclassified, so he'd have to be.
I gotta say,
Boyles is a sophomore.
it,
He's younger than Queen, I'm pretty sure too.
for flexibility purposes, just because I know what the Nets can do, um, I I would like I think we should I think there's to get the best center, the biggest guy, the one of the best athletes, the best finishers around the rim, screen setter, a guy that I believe can shoot at the next level.
Here's my question, because I know you're going Malawak.
Mhm.
Is he just giving up on Sharp and Clax?
No,
You're
I
not
don't
playing them
think it.
together. I don't. I don't see it.
Well, I think what you get is opportunity to see what you have next year when it comes to playing him, seeing if the shooting is viable between
Where do you play
him.
him? See, this is like I was
You
on
play him at
board with
center.
Malawak, but I
You
have
play
these.
him at center.
Are you trading Claxton?
Well, here's the thing: is you okay? But you hear me out. You at least give it time. You give it a few because next year we control our pick, right? We use this as fodder to sort of give in games. Maybe this is a way to give in games a little bit. Is we select Malawak, we try to maybe square peg in a round hole, him and Claxton together, see if his shooting is real. Him and Dayron together, see if they could share the floor and shoot together. If it's viable, then great, it works out. If it's not, oh, it didn't cost us anything because still trying to have a viable pick, right? So
I argue
let's
you can do the same thing with Trey.
let's see. And then here's the best part. Worst case scenario, you can still trade Claxton and CJ like you were maybe planning on doing in the first place, and you're good. You still have now you have an eighth. You have the second youngest player in the draft. Okay, he's 3 months older than Cooper Flag. He's only 3 months older. He's the best finisher by every metric of every big layups and dunks, everything within 5 feet he puts down. Just because he doesn't shoot threes under John Shire doesn't mean he can't or he's incapable. He shot threes for South Sudan. Don't tell me he didn't. He did. He has ability. He has some creativity. He's a good screen setter and he's an NBA physical ready player at 18 and he's just going to get better. And
Okay.
you need a guy that big to defend guys like Giannis and Jokic and Embiid and Wemby and Evan Mobley. And look at these giants. Like, you need a stopper. And I just don't think I think Claxton's a little light in the ass.
He is.
But you have the ability to pick Malawak here and play it very safe You don't have to gamble on a guard you don't feel comfortable taking that's putting a hat on a hat. You don't have to gamble on an Igor Demon or a Derek Queen or a Liam McNeely too early or a Fears too early. You could take the best guy, the best center in the draft, and then have a luxury problem.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know. I don't like
That's
that pick spot. That was the only thing I really don't like about being at like pick
fair.
7
That's
now.
fair.
It's
That's
just
fair.
not. It's not fun.
I just like that the pick doesn't lead to really anything bad. It doesn't lead to a miss. It leads to Jordy getting fed an incredible defensive big and us having a luxury problem with Claxton
Yeah,
and Dayron. And which one do we put together in a trade to get a star for 49 million or plus? Whatever Dayron gets paid, right?
okay. So not trade
Okay.
for a star this season because that'd be bad.
All right, the Bulls.
Um,
Uh
I see a guy that I think they would love.
Go ahead, take them.
Their Queen.
Bingo. Yep.
Seems like an easy fit. I think him being your front court of the future, kind of fun. You have some guard talent. You're going to need more, obviously. I think Queen as an offensive hub brings a lot of upside. Uh, like you said, the
Yeah.
20-year-old freshman thing is a little bit odd. Um, Defense is very questionable, but you need some young talent in that front court, and I think he might be the best player available.
Him and Buzelis together. Ooh.
It's fun.
Him and Buzelis together on top of Colby White. I mean, they got a little bit of something going.
Yeah,
If they could get anything out of Giddy, that would be good. But that's a good start for them. I mean, I think that's a more sound pick than them just, jumping for Trey Johnson or, trying to, get Igor or something like that. That's a much more sound pick for them.
yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
we're at
moving on.
pick 9. Spurs.
You just took Castle and you traded for uh
Fox.
Fox. You're likely not taking a guard because you have Vassell. Um, I think this might be Liam McNeely here.
I'm between
This is
Liam McNeely and
this is
Con
shooting.
Knuckle.
Yeah, this is shooting. This is shooting in size, and I
Who
think
do you think is a
this
better team
is
defender? I think it's Con.
team defender.
Yeah,
Khan's got a better cast.
sure.
Khan's got Coop and Malawak, so
McNeely
that
probably looked better than he has with that cast.
McNeely is he's nasty too, and I mean they're both nasty. They both got edge to them, but I think McNeely's just like way bigger and stronger than I think
He is
people
stronger.
perceive him to be. Like
Yeah,
he's 6'9". He's a real like he puts his arms
I guess he's
up
six
and he
eight. Yeah.
shoots, and you can see his muscle. Like he's muscular. Um, I think this is Liam McNeely here. This is a
Okay.
dead. This is he could play a big small forward and stretch the floor for them, or
The
play
team
a
needs some size. I'm with you.
you're right with that size, nastiness, and bang, bang, bang shooting, just banging out shooting.
Portland is tough. I actually think they could just do an embarrassment of riches thing here with Trey Johnson, but you could convince me otherwise.
They're jammed up already. They got to trade
They're jammed up
Simons.
everywhere.
So this is exactly.
Oh,
Can
wait a
I
minute.
just can I use an example
Yeah,
of
you
what
can, but
happened?
I see who I want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So, but this is my thought. This was the same thought process I had for Brooklyn. If they have any intention of trading Simons, they take Trey Johnson, right? They could take Trey Johnson. But if they take Trey Johnson and you see what like that's kind of the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
If you sort of get what I'm getting at. What I really wanted to convey there is taking Trey Johnson makes sense for them. Um, but only if they're gonna move off of Simon. So I think I actually might have only because they just signed Danny Avdia. I don't think they would take Igor Demon here. I can actually see a Colin Murray Boyles here.
That's who I was looking at. And I was like,
Yes, I could
yes.
definitely see a Colin Murray Boyles
Oh,
here. I think that
so good.
oh my God, him, Scoot, Shadon Sharp, Colin Murray Boyles, Danny Avdia, Donovan Clingan with, oh my God, the Tuamani Kamara. Oh my God.
Good roster. Don't forget
I,
Scoop.
yeah, Scoot. Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
I'm on
then,
board.
yeah, Colin Murray Boyle is the pick here.
So, best defender in the class. I'll say it. Better than Flag. Defensively
Really?
right now. Yes.
Okay.
Upside
Interesting.
wise, I like Flag's upside. I think he probably will be a better defender in the long run. But right now, I got
This
Colin
pick
Murray
right here,
Royals.
I'm not trying to be goofy, but this pick for the Spurs, I think could be hilarious, and they have every right here, if they wanted to take either Serif or Demon. I
Okay.
think taking
Sarah,
a
Demon,
big guard.
SNJ, Knuckle, Sarver, Cam Jones.
I
Uh,
mean, imagine, or they took McNeely.
I just can't see Igor after like his recent games. He hasn't scored double digits in like 2 weeks.
They're playing better. He's playing better defense. He's decent. I think that you can't look at how successful the team is and not see that he's sort of having something to do with that. Like, I get that he didn't he isn't the guy yet that they were trying to develop him into, but I do think that some people have sort of put him in a little bit of a box, put some stink on him, and now it's once you get some stink on you, it's hard to get the stink off.
Can I just argue that I think they just need more shot creation? Like there's just not nearly enough. I think that's my thing though with them.
With the Spurs, well, they
Yes.
just got De'Aaron Fox and they have Stephen Castle, so they got guys to
Do you
create
like Castle's
shots.
shot creation? That was like my big thing I didn't like about Castle.
I
It's like
just think no, I
I
would just
like the
sort of chalk
downhill
it up to
ability. I
like he'll
love the
get better.
defense. I like the defense. Just say love the defense. I just think like you could add another shot creator, and it's like a value pick. Like he's the best player left outside of maybe Fears.
Interesting.
And
Okay,
like you
no,
just took, so you
that's a
just took
really good
Liam
sell.
McNeely. You worry about the shooting with Demon. I don't think his skill set is that much different from Sochan's as far offensively goes. I think he's better offensively. The defense is going to be worse.
Oh, he's way better, smoother offensively than Sochan.
He is, but like
And
I
I think
don't.
I think you kind of sold me on Trey Johnson here, but the only thing is what about Devin Vassell? And I think
I
that's
mean,
sort
if it's
of
Keldon, I don't care about Keldon. So let's start with that.
yeah, they're gonna
I
get off of
think
they would have to get off of Keldon, right?
they'll
There's
get
no
off
way.
Keldon. I think your shot creators are Fox, Vassell, Trey Johnson, and Wemby. And I think it just adds another ripple to the offense that they really need. And long term, it could also help you move off Vassell if Trey ends up being better. Because Vassell has been pretty iffy this year.
Is
Devin Vassell is not stopping me from taking Trey Johnson if I think Trey Johnson can be better,
yeah,
which I do.
to me it's either Trey Johnson or scroll down a little bit. I think it's I could see them also maybe taking um Fleming or Kneppel here. I could see them doubling up on shooting.
Yeah.
Just saying like, hey, we're gonna draft our shooters, we're gonna
Thing
let
is,
our
Trey Johnson can
rookies.
shoot. The catch and shoot
Yeah.
numbers aren't great, but he can. I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Yeah, but he's gonna require the ball in his hand, and you just got the Aaron Fox. That's my problem. Is I get why he would go there, but it also is like again, they would have to make some movements happen. They'd have to probably move off of Keldon Johnson. They would
I
have
think they're a
to
team that
make
needs movement, honestly. So like, I'm not. That's my thing. Is like they're clearly not good enough right now as constructed, and they need to move some guys around.
and then also like we just gave them Liam McNeely. Did they not also sort of need a little bit of like besides Sochan and McNeely, like couldn't you maybe perceive them needing a little more like physicality and
With a
athleticism
Fleming.
to help Wemby, right? You don't just want Wemby trying to
Yeah.
cover all the ground, right? You want to give
You
him a
could sell me on
weapon to
Fleming. That's fine. Yeah, like
That's Fleming.
yeah. Okay.
Or 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 Noah, if you really want to talk about a guy that's gonna go next to them, how about a dynamic guy that they don't have, that they hoped that Sochan would turn into, but they might know this guy will.
I'm personally not a big SNJ guy. I just think he's jack of all trades, master of none.
But
That
I think that's
scares
what
me a
they
little bit.
want. I think that's what they want. They want
Okay,
like a Boris Diaw, a Batum, guy that can shoot a little bit, can pass a little bit, can, but is athletic
he's
and can
French.
rebound, is French, is
Fine.
also
Yeah.
is
Okay.
worth taking here, and you know they're gonna hit on, and is different and physical and different in terms of body type that they have on the whole rest of their roster. He's a
Yeah.
way more athletic than McNeely, but he's not quite the shooter. He can rebound. He look at, I mean, like when he gets the ball in his hands in transition, he's something.
Yeah.
He's something. So again, I could definitely see an 18-year-old Noah Senge, growing up, and now him and Wemby having grown up together, playing for the same school in Paris, will just develop into a pick and roll.
Yeah.
I just
All right. Houston. Um. Now
this
they
is
have a.
true.
They don't play Cam Whitmore because of the selfish play. Which is a little bit of worry with the Trey Johnson fit. They clearly need more reliable shot creation. It's been like their biggest flaw all season long, though.
I think this is. I think this might be Ben Seraph here. This might be Demon or Seraph here. They need some creativity. They need I think that if they're not going to play Whitmore because of like quote unquote selfish play, or they want to take someone who's going to be a creative touchstone, the same as Shingun, right? They've already identified that when they play Shingun, they're able to win. They're able to generate a higher potency of offense. Better than what they were doing when just it was the Jalen Green show. Um, I would use this as an opportunity also for them to find the guard that they want Fred Van Fleet to mentor, to be like the next sort of guy.
So it's Sarah for you? You
It's either Seraph or Fears, and phone call. You could make a case for any one of those guys.
I'm gonna lean Fears. I just think there's more
I'll say
functional
I
athleticism in their athletic team.
that's a very good point. That's
And they
also a very
just
good
drafted
point.
Reed Shepard, who doesn't have that functional athleticism, and it's not working out. I don't think they want to get burned twice. You could also tell me the fact that they don't want to draft another point guard this early, a small guard, as they just drafted one last year.
Right, taking Johnson after taking Shet. Yeah,
Taking
so
Fears is basically saying Shepard, bye bye. Not bye bye, but
this is why I really like the Devin pick here. I think the Devin or Fleming here makes
I
a lot of sense to me.
yeah, I'll let you take Demon here. I just don't like Demon. I don't think he's very good
Okay,
anymore. But
that's okay. But I think if you look at the diversity of their roster, he's sort of the guy that will do some different things for them, especially because they play a lot of Dylan Brooks in that spot. I'd like to see what a creative type could do with all that rim running. It's especially when healthy. Green and
yeah.
Whitmore and Parker and all those guys falling out the sky. Yeah.
All right, we're at Atlanta's pick here at 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the center spot's not really great for them. I don't see Sorber getting picked this early with the foot injury. Danny Wolf, is he really fit for what they're trying to do?
This is another pick that makes me hesitant because I don't know where they stand with Trey Young. I mean, they
I'm
just
gonna
took
assume moving
They just
forward.
took Risa Shea, right?
Yeah,
And uh
Dyson, Jalen. They need a big. It's clear.
yeah, because Okongwu did not pan out the way I think they were planning on him. He did. I don't think he was the right side. I think they thought they were getting a 6'9" guy, and they really thought I got a 6'7" guy. So, yeah, this is big time. This is probably Fleming. They need like anyone, power forward, center,
Size, yeah. I like him
size.
more than I like Wolf. So
Fine, yeah, I do too.
we're here. Okay. Fleming it is. More size, more strength. Okay. My pick here is easy. This is it for Trey Johnson. He's gonna go here. He's too good to slip past this. They need more shot creation now without Luca. I think the fit's good.
Is maybe with the shot creation and the shooting and the scoring, like um, you know what? You're right. Yeah, no. I'm overthinking it.
Need more offense.
Yep,
Offense. There you go.
just scoring from guards.
Okay, see, damn it. I mean, have
God damn
everybody
it!
they need, dude. You could just hopefully they just trade this for a player
I
because
think this is Khan here.
Khan. Okay, you
Oh,
can just tell me that.
Khan or um, they think they might lose one of the guards that they have, like
Unreal,
in
man.
Kason and Wallace
They
or
got Topic in the back too.
Topich, right? They might want to
They
be
have too
afraid
many
of
guards.
losing
I'm
the
just gonna
guys.
say that they're gonna take Khan because it fits a little bit more of a need. Dude, they have so many guards. Even if they lose like two of them, it doesn't even matter. Like this is just absurd. They got Caruso. They just extended Kason. They have Topic.
Any
Uh,
love for Sorber? Any love
they
for
have
Sorber?
Wiggins. I worry about the foot thing, and I don't really think they need another big. But I guess they kind of do. They kind of showed it last night. They got pumped.
This is the team that
Draymond.
needs Cam and Malawak.
Yeah. Please don't let him get him. Johnny Broom is an interesting, fun one here. I know it's early, but I do like that. I think he fits exactly what they need.
And if they wanted him, they could get him later.
Okay, fine. You want Sorber though? I mean, I worry about the foot stuff, but like he kind of just fit what they need. Wolf, you could sell me on too. Some more offense out of the center spot. Thumper.
Hmm.
You could
I
literally
like.
pick anybody here. I mean, like it's
I think I like Sorber here. I think I like a 6'10" sort of center type that goes along with Chet. You got another big behind
yeah,
Hartenstein, one that can also, step out to 15 plus feet, shoot a little bit, will finish strong around the rim. Um, has good basket, like is just a good hard play basketball player, man.
yeah,
I really enjoy watching him too, and I'm glad he's able to go to such a good team.
yeah.
That's really solid.
Um,
So I mean, and he's
or
gonna thrive there.
without a doubt, Orlando.
Guard Jeremiah Fears.
Yeah, that one feels pretty easy.
Bring it home. That's the guy. They want an electric. They want an electric guy. They want a guy to pump up the crowd and to get to the rim and wiggle around defenders and be exciting and you know zero fear magic. They're gonna pump that no fear magic, or they're gonna do all that. They're gonna get behind him, and then him, Alo, and Franz are gonna be solid. Just super fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Okay, we're here at pick 17 with Miami. We can rule out center. They can rule out power forward. So they need some guard talent. Um, you could sell me on here. You could sell me on Seraph here. Miles Byard. Um, Jace.
I think that they are looking for a wing or a very competent guard. So
Kind of fits both.
I could see like a con, or can you go to overall, just the all tab. Um, Also someone that can maybe decentralize the ball away from Tyler Hero a little bit might be pretty good here. Um, I don't dislike Seraph as a pick for them. I also don't dislike Con Apple.
I think
Um,
Khan kind of fits everything they're looking for the best because he still has that team defense that they like. They
right.
they need more shooting. They do.
And they need more shooting that isn't Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah,
They need more viable
shooting
shooting that is
that
also
can
yeah.
defend. I think Khan's good here. Makes sense.
Yeah. Shooting that can defend is the name of the game for them.
And I think
Uh
he's got more there. Um,
right. And the creativity aspect too, I think is underrated with him, even though
yeah,
like I do think that they need another guard next to
wow.
Kira.
Yeah,
I again we don't know what kind of guard that may actually be, but I think that guard is gonna have to be also more um he's got to have some sort of different element. You know how I talked about the two guards, the two wings having to being able to score, but have some different elements about each other, sort of the Brown and Tatum element. And that's
yeah,
what I'm hoping for them to get is they still need that guy too, but in the
yeah.
guard position.
Agreed. Okay, we're with Utah here at pick 18.
Jeez Louise. Oh, Utah. Utah, Utah, Utah. Um
Isaiah Evans is
uh
fun. Not yet, but we'll get there.
let's get to the top again. Let's go to overall. Um I this I think is Ben Seraph.
Really?
Yeah. I
They
think
got
they look
they
for a
got
guard.
Dylan, they got Keontae, they got Collier.
I think Collier is someone they believe in for their future. I think that they're gonna also look for another uh distributing sort of bigger, your Euro guard that sort of brings another element to the game, sort of like I was saying before. And Collier's really broken out the last couple games.
But
He's
with
been
Keontae too, I don't know. Do you really bring another guard into that mix and just keep?
again. I think Keontae and uh, I mean, you make a good point.
It's a lot of young guards,
I
and even
just,
like a Bryce Sensabaugh needs some more touches. Not that I think he's special or anything, but
you know what? I'm going to withdraw this pick. I'm going to change this pick to Carter Bryant.
I like the Carter Bryant fit a lot.
I think
I
Carter
like him
Bryant
to
is
the
the pick
Nets
here.
even, but yeah, I mean, you can defend. You like the shot, efficient offensive player, does a little bit of everything, versatile,
Yeah, I was
front
wrong.
court chess piece.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. I think Keontae George is going to get much more playing time next season,
Yeah.
and we're going to start seeing a lot more of
OKC.
his
Now,
talent.
yeah, right. OKC. You just want to go Seraph here, get him another guard. I mean, what's there's I
No.
he's like they have everything. So like, why don't we just give him Seraph and like just make it easy, get him off the board? I don't know. Like,
Scroll down a little bit.
or you could do Clifford. I do like Clifford here. He's more win now.
I
Or
think they're
maybe
gonna.
maybe they go like really young and developmental, like Miles Byard, and he's a got the physical upside and that kind of developmental piece because they got to stash this guy for a while. Or maybe they go with Nolan Trior
I mean, I sort of like them
or
trying
Jace
to.
Richardson or Dow Theoro. I mean Theoro. Think
I
Pate.
think they sort of need that big scoring wing mentality. That a little bit of like what's in between Jalen Williams and Chet. That in between those two guys.
Yeah. So Mr. Broom.
No, I wouldn't take him here. Not from Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. If
Dink.
I'm Oklahoma, if I'm Oklahoma City, nah, I'm taking my probably the best player available.
That's who.
Um, yeah, let's give him Seraph.
I personally don't think he's the best player available, but
Oh no,
yeah.
I just meant to the draft, the way the draft had it.
Okay. 20th
Um,
Minnesota. For me, I think this one is. I would think they want to reinforce the wing group because Neil Alexander Walker's a free agent, and he
right.
always sees more
This could be a
wings.
lot of guys. This could be a lot of guys. This could be Nick Clifford. This could be
I
Hugo
like Clifford there a
Gonzalez.
lot. This is a fit that I've thought of quite a bit. I think
This could be Nick Clifford. This could be Auditorio. This could
they
be
play, and I like Noah Penda too, actually. But
yeah, a lot of deep guys too. A lot of
Clifford's more NBA ready than like any of these other guys. I think that's been my main piece. He's older
you
than all of
don't
them.
like a Hugo Gonzalez, like a bigger, like a 6'6" plus sort of creative kid
I
that
think Clifford's creative, and I think
he's
he's just more ready.
but he's
But you,
older.
yeah, that's fair. Hugo actually makes a lot of sense here.
Like Hugo.
I like Theodore here too. Um,
You go wherever I go. Let's get it. Let's keep cooking this draft. Let's get through this.
so
Let's
we
do
keep it.
Hugo. Let's do Hugo here,
For
and then next pick is yours.
um, Dink, Theo, Clifford. We got the guard. We didn't draft a guard yet. Trior has been better lately. Jace, not a big Flander filing guy. There's
Who's
no
the next pick?
guards. Who's after this?
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's finish this. Let's roll this out. It's Brooklyn,
Pacers is
right?
after. Well, Nets are right now. Yeah, I'm looking. I already picked for Minnesota. Yeah.
Okay, and now so Brooklyn. So here we go. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Are we
We took
worried about the
we took
Pacers
the
picking a
big
guard?
about who picking a guard.
The Pacers, not really, right?
Why? Why would they take a guard?
That's
They
what I'm
have
saying is that's why since our next pick's at 24, we could say, hey, they're not going to take a guard. They might take one of our wings though. So maybe we just go 3-0 now, so they can't take it.
unless they want to take a guard and trade a guard. Again, we have to remember that teams might
Yeah,
do this, especially.
I think I'm too scared to lose Jace at this point.
Can I just say that Jace Richardson and his father does have history with Sean Marks and Steve Nash that
Hmm.
doesn't need to be discussed on the pod, but may affect the relationship and the potential of Jace to be drafted to Brooklyn.
Hmm.
That I'll tell you I'll say more about it off pod, but it's for the listeners, it's documented. I think it might have something to do with him not wanting to come to Brooklyn, but not saying outright. So if you want to take Jace here, you're more than welcome to take him.
Similar
I could be
Trior. I think
completely wrong.
he's I think he's just very creative, sound offensive and defensive player, regardless
Yes.
of height. And I think that's something Jordy would love. I think it makes sense.
Take him.
Yeah, a lot of creativity there. Pacers. They might need. I think big can make sense here too. They need another big. Danny Wolf would be fun, really fun here
Mm,
next to Siakam. Actually, now I'm really thinking about it.
mm, mm.
That depth has been tried this year. I don't mind a Danny Wolf pick, but you could also
Maybe.
sell me on like a Ryan Kalkbrenner who's just like more of a rim protector.
No, it's a little early for Ryan Calk right now. I could take Danny Wolf here.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um.
Especially if you want to play like that big to big rim protector sort of where like you always have a big at the rim
Yeah.
and one of them is a little more creative, has a little more touchstone of creativity, whereas the other is a little more like pick and pop with the outside wait for my role. And now you can utilize Tyler Miles Turner, excuse me, with Danny Wolf, because Danny Wolf has that creative element at the four position, which is why when I tried to do my amalgamation of the draft earlier yesterday morning, when I drafted Mallock, I also drafted Danny Wolf.
Fair enough.
But
Um,
yeah,
yeah. Pick 23, Atlanta.
ooh, I mean they have James Johnson, they have
I just look at. I think they could really use
this
a
Daniels.
another guard. I like Miles. Kim Jones is a little bit older. He's fun. Ian Jackson brings a lot of offensive creativity. Um, you could also sell me on. I mean, not really, because I think they're going to commit to Trey long term. Trior. I think I lean to going like a Miles Byard, who just fits their athletic, lengthy, young prospect group with Reese Shea, Jalen Johnson, Dyson, who's not a prospect, but he's younger, and then Rasheer. What do you think?
I think um this team really confuses me right now. I'm gonna leave this pick to you.
I'll go with the Byard pick. I just think he fits the mold of player they're trying to draft right now.
And does he not fit with the Dyson James Johnson
Yeah,
element with Risa Shea that they're going? Are they getting
yeah,
two
that's what I'm
wings
saying.
here, or is the big not available? It just
There's
is
no
the big.
big
There's just no big for them to take.
except Johnny
There's
Broom, which I just
or they.
after just taking Fleming, I'm not taking Broom for them. That doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, I forgot we took Fleming for them. Yeah. Oh my God. Of course, take Bird. Oh my. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is much smarter pick. That's good. Good job, Caleb.
Yes, thank you.
Very good job.
Lock, Jace. Here's our third pick. What are we thinking? Do we want to go one of our wings finally here?
Let me see who's overall. I like to see just where the draft is has been leaning and
I don't want to
who.
do a Clifford or a Cam Jones or a Caravan because they're all older. I want young developmental pieces.
This to me is either Philon or Traore.
I'd like to go Triori. I think the offensive upside
Done.
is significantly higher.
Done.
And I think Phylon might go back to school, personally.
And on top of the fact that Boogie was hurt, and I'm not crazy about his body. I love his wiggle. I love his ability to navigate traffic, but his undersizedness is a distinct disadvantage, and it's uh it's
It's interesting.
it's interesting.
Okay. Wizards. They got Sar, obviously long term. Bailey. I don't know what the fuck this depth chart is. Koulibaly, Kaishan George, Bob Carrington. Who's your next guy you're adding to this?
Washington's BPA to me. Literally just
BPA,
the
regardless
best.
of age, or
No, just I think of age 18. They know what they're doing. They
I'm
got
taking. You know what? I'm taking Broom here. Give some a thumper that protects Sar. I like the pick. Your team is so skinny with Bailey, Sar, and Koulibaly.
I would see I
Get a
would
real
rather take
thumper in there.
I take Tyrio here. I'd rather take Tyrio. I'd rather take
That's
Dink. Yeah,
fair.
I'd rather take I mean I mean I know you have Bub Carrington and you took Ace Bailey, you have Bilal Koulibaly. Don't forget they also traded for Middleton and Smart, who they're probably going to move off of. They got Jordan Poole too. Man, give this team physicality and athleticism. Let's give them someone else besides Star. Let's give them Tyrio.
Okay, let's do it.
I think this is a
Alrighty.
good pick for them.
Oh, it's us again.
Ugh,
Very
I love
cool.
this game. Can this ugh
All
man,
right.
you gave me the Malawak pick, and so I bequeath you the final pick.
I would like help because I don't know. No more guards. Well, I think we're good on guards. We already drafted two, Trior and
And we
Richardson.
got two nasty ones too. I
Yeah.
mean, um,
Don't need another big, I don't think, because I don't like any of the bigs left outside of Broom. And like that just
okay,
doesn't.
but what kind of big? Because this is kind of where this is right around where I was justifying why I would take like in the Jace Richardson spot. That's where I was taking Danny Wolf, and then
Yeah.
Jace and Nolan were falling to me later. I was still getting Jace and Nolan available to me, but
Yeah.
I used the first pick to reach for the guy I knew I wanted to get, the shooting big that we can put with anybody. Okay. And
Do you have
then
somebody in mind? Curious.
at this, well, no. Well, I was just saying what I did earlier with my own mock drafts was this is pretty much identical to how it worked out. Except instead of taking Jace and Nolan Traore, I took um Traore and Fland. And or did I take Traore? But I'll have to get back to you on that. But that was sort of my thinking. My mentality was, do I take I can reach for Danny Wolf now on this pick, get the guy I know I definitely want, and I know that those guards are going to be there for me later, and I like all of them. I like LeBaron, I like Philon, I like Fland, I like Traore, I like Jace, I like Cam Jones. So
Yeah.
coming away with two of the five of those guys did not feel as bad as not getting Danny Wolf for me.
Fair enough. I get that.
So it was sort of about this is why I wanted to do the draft this way. So because it gives a better grasp to the viewers about who is looking for what and what's going to be left over at the end where we're going to be picking.
Yeah.
So you could go best player available, but you also got to remember when every team goes best player available, when every team really works into their scenario, it's gonna turn out not how you think it is.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm leaning Dink Pate here.
See, at this pick, this is mega value pick here. This is Dink Pate.
And I
This
think
is
it's
Dink.
like there's a pretty damn good chance he doesn't pan out, in my opinion. Let me be 100% honest.
Who cares,
But
dude? This
if
dude
he
jumps.
does pan
Is
out, if he pans out, which I love this coaching staff and it's why I feel comfortable making this pick,
Yep,
it's a slam dunk home run. The upside's there. He's a little bit all over the place, but pick 26 is worth it.
dude. At 26 could be the best guy we take
Yeah.
overall.
Orlando here.
This is Alex
I
here. This is Carib.
Yeah. No, no, that was
Yeah, this is
perfect.
Carib.
Yeah. I don't even think we have to really think about this one. It's good. Pick 28.
This is the Celtics.
Cam Jones, another young. They need another young
A
guard long
thousand
term.
percent, they're getting either
He's
Cam.
physical.
It depends on how if they can bring back Peyton Pritchard.
For
If
me, it's not even
not,
Pritchard. It's just like Drew Holiday long term. I think they just need another physical guard. Not that Cam Jones is Drew Holiday. I'm to clarify.
could also be Derek White insurance.
Yeah, I like Cam Jones here. I think
I
he
like
fits
the
into what
Cam
they're
Jones
doing.
pick. Yep, we'll do that.
We got to go Nick Clifford soon, though. Is this who's this? You know
Clippers.
what? I like the fit. He's gonna replace Amir Coffee.
Yep, they need physicality and
They,
athleticism.
they just get Terrence Mann didn't really pan out, sadly, after his extension. I think he makes a lot of sense. He's also the best player, and he's NBA ready for the most part. So we can just knock these guys off right away. It's easy.
Send them that way.
Phoenix.
Wow. Oh, they need a guard. So I mean, they need a point
They
guard
need a
really bad.
big.
They need big really bad too. They need so much.
I don't like these picks for them. It's not.
Let me see the bigs.
You
This
could
is John.
sell me
This
on
is
Johnny.
this is Johnny
Yeah,
Broom. This is
he's a,
definitely Johnny Broom. Come in, contribute right away.
this is assuming they keep everybody together. We'll see. Doubt so. Alrighty, there it is.
This is a good for what happened for Toronto
It's a
getting
very
the first pick. That's
yeah,
good. That's an excellent. Because here's the thing, Toronto getting the first pick is whatever. It's an outlier, but sometimes the first pick is an outlier, like the Hawks, and then the rest of the draft is very. Look at it. It's pretty much chalk. It's Washington. I mean, if you took away Toronto and started it one from Ace Bailey down, that looks like chalk to me.
yeah.
So one outlier got in. This is a it's a very solid draft. I don't think any
It's a
team
very
comes
uncomfortable draft.
really uncomfortable. That's why I wanted to do it this way. I wanted people to feel and see all the discomfort, feel like the stretch that comes in the middle. I'm so happy we don't have a middle pick because it
Middle is
sometimes
not fun.
middle
It's
is
not
not
fun.
fun. Look at that middle. Look at that middle. Everyone from Asa Newell or really a Senge to
I should scroll down.
I want to say Jeremiah. I want to say the probably Carter Bryant. I don't feel that great about like Colin Kneppel to the Heat. I feel pretty solid about, but
You're like
man,
Fears, Sorber, Trey Johnson, Fleming, Demon, Essengay. For me, all those guys, the problems I had, it's not even like the player. It's the teams are in weird spots. Like I don't know what the Spurs exactly want to do. The Rockets are in a really they have a ton of guys and they just need like shot creation, but they don't play their young shot creators because they're too selfish.
I
And
would
then
rather
Atlanta needs a
pick.
center. There's no center there.
There's
And
no
then
center
Dallas,
there.
who knows what the hell they're doing? I mean, they're just
So what are they gonna do? Reach for the one of the guys from Illinois? Or are they gonna go for a Maxi Renaud? Or are they gonna try to uh
like, yeah.
just
And then like
they
OKC, I hate picking for OKC because they literally could just pick wherever they want.
Mhm.
It's disgusting. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Orlando needs guard help, so actually I felt pretty good about the Fears pick. They
That
just
was an
need guard
excellent
help.
pick.
Knuppel, yeah, I felt good about. Carter Bryant, I like the fit. So actually, down the stretch, I felt better. Seraph to OKC is an embarrassment of riches. Hugo Gonzalez pick was a little bit weird, but I think teams are going to see when he gets like the private workouts. I think teams are going to love him.
You don't like the go scroll down? Where did he go to? Where did we have him go to again?
Minnesota.
I see. I like that because I think they need that creative wing.
Oh no! I
They
agree. I'm saying I feel a little bit uncomfortable at, but I think when teams do the private workouts for him and watch him, they're going to fall in love with his play, and he's going to
right,
go
yeah.
higher than people think. Jace, I'm a big Jace guy. I worry about the physical limitations a little bit, the height, but he's a really sound basketball player and very young. Wolf was see this stuff I feel a lot better about. Danny Wolf to the Pacers is fun,
Thank you.
another
I
offensive
was just
element.
about to say I felt much better about 17 to 25 or to 26 than I felt about
I'd
12
say
to
17 to
16.
30 even. I mean, I like the
Like
Bayard pick. It's a little bit weird, but it fits what they're doing with all these young players. Traor's another fun ball handler, offensive creative piece, and the Brooklyn Nets just need as many of those as possible and to let them get developed by Jordi. I trust Jordi with young guards. Heroes per what more athleticism, more defense, more physicality for a team that lacks it, especially after drafting Ace Bailey. Dink Pate is a shoot for the stars at pick 26 when the Nets already picked three guys. So that's fine by me. Caravan can shoot the lights out. Sound connective piece on the offense. Not as much defense, but he's not the worst on the planet. Cam Jones is a physical 6'5", experienced guard out of Marquette who does a little
right.
bit of everything for that team. Kind of has him on his back. So you love that for Celtics because they just that's where you pick at 29 and 30. Nick Clifford, it's the same thing. Physical, large guard, small wing, good shooter, some creativity. You like that for the Clippers. And then Johnny Broome comes in and contributes right away. I'm higher on Broome than I think you are because I would have probably I think I could have you could have gotten me selecting him at like 19, 20. I think he's
I
very
just
good.
I hate his age.
The
And
age
I
is
hate
fair.
and I hate that he plays with the oldest team in basketball.
And he plays the oldest brand of basketball. I get it.
It's just everything about him. His steam is old, his game is old, he's got an
He's
old
old.
body, he's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that this stretch from I'd say, I'd say 10 to 15 is uncomfortable.
It was really
The
uncomfortable.
the Boyles pick, Boyles is really good, but the fit's a little bit funky. The Essengay fits a little bit weird. Demons fit weird. Fleming fit isn't weird, but like, how does he fit next to Jalen Johnson? He's probably the best player there, though. Trey Johnson pick, I didn't feel awful about, but Dallas Mavericks have idolized defense, and like none of these guys are really good defenders here between Trey Johnson and really till Carter Bryant, and he's not like an elite defender. So none of these guys in that range are going to get picked for their defense. And then we
I
talked
think
about
they just
OKC, so
I think they might get picked just for their scoring ability.
they need
And
more of
the
it.
Carter Bryant, is also a great project for them,
Yeah,
especially, a good wing. So I think we did pretty well. I mean, I
I would
love
say so.
there's some picks I really love. I loved the Oklahoma City Newell pick. I loved Kasparis to the Pelicans. I think Auditorio to Washington was a really solid pick there. And man, I just and I also thought the Miles Bird pick to Atlanta was very solid.
I thought that was very creative on my
Yeah,
end.
Bird and Fleming is a very interesting addition to their physicality, a real bump to them. Um,
Yeah,
and then the rich keep getting richer with Oklahoma City getting Sorber. That's that's a fantastic get for them.
that's very annoying.
Yeah, so I think I really feel confident about this. I also think the Nets did excellent, 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 excellent.
Yeah, but that is up. I'm going to end the podcast here. It's almost 2 hours. There'll be a lot to look over. I'm going to make sure to timestamp everything.
Yeah,
But
if as best we can.
yeah, I'll do a good job. I promise.
Oh man, we crushed it. Thank you so much, dude.
Yeah, thank you. And we're going to be back hopefully early next week. So we'll see you guys then.
All right, yeah, be excellent to
All right.
one another.
Yes. Peace.
Peace.